Okay, so this is basically a recap slash reboot of the previous episode. So, if you've seen that already and you don't want to see the events of this one again, you could just wait for the next video. But I recommend you stick through this one anyway, because editing will be better, I think my jokes will be better. I think it's just gonna be better. Alright, while this lady talks, I'm going to tell a little bit of a story about my history with this game. I did not play this game when it first came out. I didn't even play it in the couple following years. It wasn't until 2010, 11, one of those two, that I actually got to play this for the first time. And I'll tell you exactly what happened. So, when I got to high school, we were issued laptops for each student. They were HP Minis, I believe, at the time, so we just called them Minis. And it was a good time. And of course, us being students and all, especially students that grew up in the early 2000s and early 2010s especially, we naturally, first thing we did with our laptops was go on the internet, find Flash games, and play those in our spare time. Some of us even during classes, but don't tell my teachers I said that. Nah, so that was great until it hit a point where the school caught on and started blocking a bunch of websites. I mean, they had already blocked the big ones, like pornographic sites and stuff like that, but then they started cracking down hard once we found out exactly where we were going. And it was kind of sad for a little bit. But then a friend of mine decided to put Half-Life on a flash drive and spread it around the school so that we could play multiplayer during lunch and during breaks and stuff like that. You know, if we're sitting in class or done with our homework or after we finished a test or whatever. It was wonderful. It was absolutely glorious. A bunch of other games started making their way around the school after that in much the same way. First it was Counter-Strike, and then Unreal Tournament, Warcraft 3, and it eventually spread to single-player games like Plants vs. Zombies and Grand Theft Auto 3, but Half-Life was king. All the way until my senior year of high school, where they swapped out the HP Minis for MacBook Airs, I believe it was. At which point, sadly, Half-Life was no longer compatible. But, those memories. I will always hold them close to my heart. And I will always remember that I had spent so much time in Half-Life's multiplayer before deciding to check out single player. And, funnily enough, I had never heard of Half-Life before then, and I had heard nothing about Half-Life single player before I actually played it. So, I was pleasantly surprised. It wasn't until much later after that that I learned that Half-Life was widely considered one of the most pivotal shooter games of all time, and that it had this big following and this sequel that apparently everybody thought was better. I personally prefer the first one, but they're both. That's like saying which of the original Star Wars trilogy is your favorite. Like, those are all valid answers. Off to a flying start. Oh, Jesus, Murphy. I don't like this. I don't like this. I do not like this. I don't like this view tilt. Hold on one second. I need to fix this somehow. Alright, perfect. Ready to start the day now that I'm not going to get motion sick from walking around.
Morning, Mr. Freeman. Looks like you're running late.
You guys want to see a trick? Want to see it again? Just gotta wait for this guy to get into position. Jeez. There's the running speed of this game, there's the walking speed, and then there's the NPC speed. But yeah, watch his mouth closely. Now, why it does that, I have no idea. It's a conundrum. It's silly. But who cares? I love this game either way.
Hey, Mr. Freeman. I had a bunch of messages for you, but we had a system crash about 20 minutes ago, and I'm still trying to find my files. Just one of those days, I guess. They were having some problems down in the test chamber, too, but I think that's all straightened out. They told me to make sure you headed down there as soon as you got into your hazard suit.
It's entire system crash. That's insane. And a part of me wants to say that it wouldn't really happen like this in reality.
That's odd.
Yes, I know. That was the point I was trying to get to. Just for that, I'm going to check your emails. What kind of hoes you been sending messages to?
Get away from there, Freeman. I'm expecting an important message.
Well, then why weren't you over there in the first place? Why aren't you still over there?
Why do we all have to wear these ridiculous ties?
I'm asking questions here, not you, Poindexter. Ugh. Alright, no smoking area. Oh, wait. So, this is the no smoking area. Alright, so I'll just light up a ciggy, like, right here. That's fine, right? That's perfectly legal? I feel like this entire thing should be a no smoking zone, but what do I know?
Greetings!
Hello! You're here to get your cup of noodles. Although, funnily enough...
Most of the simulation results are perfectly acceptable, you know.
7. So...
As I expected.
Can you stop interrupting me? Thank you. So... Yes, I've had that kind of trouble with the vending machines.
Hidden my glasses again.
Oh my god, I'm trying to tell a story. Shut up! So, when I was younger, I didn't know this was a cup of noodles.
My god, what are you doing?
I thought that was supposed to be lobster. I thought this guy was heating up lobster for lunch. I do genuinely really like the fact that this isn't actually like combat armor. It's just, hey, power armor for handling hazardous materials. It just happens to be combat capable.
Freeman?
Hello. So I recognize this is probably for loading screen stuff, but I have to wonder why this many airlocks is needed. Now granted, I'm not a scientist. I know scientists. I have good friends who are scientists. One of my best friends in high school is a scientist. But I am not. I work in retail and filmmaking.
Victor, report to Super Cool Laser Laboratory, please.
Super Cool Laser Laboratory. See, I don't know if that's a real thing. I don't know if this elevator is ocean compliant. I feel like it isn't. I have no idea if this many airlocks are needed in a scientific facility. I'll have to ask him.
Hello, Gordon Freeman. It's good to see you.
Because you never know what is realistic and what isn't. Oh boy, I remember this part.
Greetings! Gordon, here you are. We just sent the sample down to the test chamber.
We've boosted the anti-mass spectrometer to 105%. Bit of a gamble, but we need the extra resolution.
The administrator is very concerned that we get a conclusive analysis of today's sample. I gather they went to some lengths to get it.
They're waiting for you, Gordon, in the test chamber.
I will never get over how overdramatic that is. In the test chamber.
Do you know who ate all the donuts?
People are talking over each other.
It's about to go critical.
About to go critical? There's a freaking giant hole in it!
What the hell is going on with our equipment?
It wasn't meant to do this in the first place.
Yeah, I don't imagine most scientific computers are meant to blow holes in themselves. Honestly, I'm no scientist. I recognize that. I mentioned that earlier. But I can confidently say that if that happens to your server, the first thing you should do is unplug it and stop using it. And this is why I sold all of my Black Mesa stock and invested in Aperture. Test Lab C33A. I wonder if there's a regular C33 and what that looks like.
I'm afraid we'll be deviating a bit from standard analysis procedures today, Gordon.
Yes, but with good reason. This is a rare opportunity for us. This is the purest sample we've seen yet.
And, potentially, the most unstable.
Now, if you follow standard insertion procedures, everything will be fine.
I don't know how you can say that, although I will admit that the possibility of a resonance cascade scenario is extremely unlikely.
Gordon doesn't need to hear all this. He's a highly trained professional.
Exactly.
We've assured
I've
the
played Doom,
administrator
I've played
that nothing
Wolfenstein,
will
I've
go
played
wrong.
Unreal Tournament, I've played
Yes,
some
you're
of
right.
Quake, and I've played a lot of Renegade. I'm ready.
Well, go ahead. Let's let him in now.
Yes, please, let me in.
Testing.
Ow!
Testing. Everything seems to be in order.
All right, Gordon. Your suit should keep you comfortable through all this. The specimen will be delivered to you in a few moments. If you would be so good as to climb up and start the rotors, we can bring the anti-mass spectrometer to 80% and hold it there until the carrier arrives.
Okay, so what am I supposed to do? Press this lever? Button? Lever? Thing? It's one of those fancy light switches on this side. You know, my gut tells me that this is some sort of like Death Doom laser, but I also know that a lot of scientific instruments look a lot more dangerous than they really are. Like, the world's largest electron microscope, I believe. To me, it kind of looks like a death laser controlled device. Okay, so, again, my knowledge of science is kind of limited. It's mostly down to Mythbusters, but should we do a small-scale version of this first? Or is this the small-scale version? I don't know. I am not paid...
For a non-standard specimen. Go ahead, Gordon.
Yes?
Pump the carrier into the analysis port.
What do you think I'm doing? Shut up! I'm trying to tell stories and play this game, you...
Get away from the
Shutting down. Shut down. It's not shutting down.
I'll put it back. You know, I have to wonder if this would have been worse if Elon Musk was the CEO of Black Mesa. Unless he is the CEO and that's why this happened. Huh. Drinking some water, fighting amoebas. Ah, hello, friends! I bring a message from the future. You will eventually have the voices of the late, great Tony Todd. Alright. So, that is it for the recap. Next episode, the real game begins. Ta-ta for now. Commander, you've reached the end of the video. The names you see on screen right now are my wonderful supporters on Patreon. If you would like to join their ranks, there's a link in the description below where you can support the channel for as little as $1 a month. But please, only do so if you are comfortable. Otherwise, you can subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so that you can get notified the moment a new video releases. If nothing else though, just you being here is greatly appreciated. Thank you.